we're back with another episode of All Things Mysterious to discuss more true crime, supernatural, paranormal, conspiracy theories, and pretty much anything mysterious that you can think of. As always, I'm Jordan.
I'm Matt.
And today, I've got something a little different than my usual true crime or mysteries for you. Something a little bit older. So, Matt.
I am not that much older.
No, I mean, you're a little bit older than me, but that's not what I was talking about. But okay. I'm talking like ancient here, but I wasn't going to call you ancient. But if you want to just call yourself ancient, that's fine.
So, Charles.
No. Ancient Egyptian.
Oh, okay.
Ancient Egyptian. Okay. Do you believe in curses?
Well, I mean, I work with you on a daily basis, so
That's
yes.
fair. I have a curse against technology. Today, you guys, he let me plug in the microphone.
And it hasn't exploded.
Yet. Give it a minute. Just give it a couple minutes. It probably will stop working and we'll probably have to re-record this whole thing. But anyway, wait for it.
And we're back 30 minutes later after Jordan broke the microphone.
I also plugged in the headphones. So we're going places, you guys.
Update. She can't hear out of her headphones now.
I can hear out of them so far. But this is all I'm allowed to do. For the record, I plug in the extension cord and, excitingly enough, the headphones and the microphone. So yeah, let me tell you, it's very exciting.
The last cable she used, she broke. $50 cable, and it's...
Did I break it?
Yes.
I broke it.
You really did. I have no idea how.
What did I do?
I don't know. All I know is it doesn't work anymore.
Dang it. All I did was touch it.
Literally.
Well, I was going to say that I personally don't really believe all that much in curses, but here I am. So anyway, I am at least superstitious. So there's that much. So at least when it comes to, opening ancient tombs.
I would love to do that.
See, yeah, of course you would, because I am of the personal belief that, we should probably just leave them be, because,
Nah.
no, leave them. They are dead. Leave them sealed. Leave them to their final resting place.
I want them to open up my grave in 200 years.
No, leave them. They're
I want to be mummified.
In peace.
Mummified, and I want to be flipping the bird. So when they open it up, that's all they see.
Of course you would. Of course you would. But no, I personally think that we need to just leave it alone. They obviously had all these plans, but at the same time, I understand that historians and researchers, I can't speak, and archaeologists and everything, they want to understand more about people of their time, so they dig them up anyway.
Well, to be fair, they don't actually dig them up. They just kind of go in the pyramid or the tomb.
I mean, I consider that digging them up because they're buried in sand. So you have to dig into the sand.
Well, yeah, because erosion, but...
So that's digging.
I mean,
excavating.
Do you consider building a sandcastle digging?
Yeah, because you have to dig in the sand.
I think you're loosely using the term dig in there.
I mean, it's not hardcore, but yeah, you still have to dig.
I don't know why we're getting stuck on the sand part.
Because you're you. And this is what we do. That's why. This is why you guys listen to the podcast. It's not for the interesting topics. It's because of this.
This whole episode's going to be about sand.
It's actually it's a really weird episode. So you're welcome. You guys like the weird ones. So here you go. So,
I forgot what we were talking about. We said sand.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Naturally, you've seen the title of the episode. So it is about King Tutankhamun, or more commonly known, because I'm not saying that the entire episode, King Tut.
King Toot.
You would say that. You are a child.
I really am.
You are a child. So his tomb was found in November of 1922 and excavated within the same month. And I'll say it again. I personally think we should just leave the dead alone because supposedly it was cursed. But can we do that? Of course we cannot.
Nah.
Of course not. Because knowledge, we want to learn about all of the ancient ways, especially mummification, because we seem to really want to understand the mummification process. Not to mention the fact that they're always buried with gold and trinkets and, powerful objects and exactly priceless artifacts. And don't get me wrong, I understand that they wanted their loved ones to go into the afterlife with all of these powerful objects and money and everything else, which is great. But at the same time, like, I feel like that's your final resting place. Like, leave it be.
Here's a weird question.
Oh no.
So if you're buried with all that treasure and you get into the afterlife, if someone steals all that treasure, do you get kicked out of the afterlife then?
That is an interesting question, and I don't know how to answer it because, like, then does it stay with you, or does it like come with you, like with your soul, and then like suddenly does it just like leave with you?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Sorry, King Toot. You're not allowed in here anymore. Someone stole all your treasures.
Yeah, sorry. You're out of money now. Poof, gone. It's all gone now. But I don't know. Supposedly, there were some artifacts that said it was cursed. However, I could not find an actual record that said for sure 100% that it was. So,
spoiler alert, it wasn't.
Honestly, I really don't think that it was really cursed. I think that all of this was just a major coincidence and the fact that healthcare was really not good in the 1920s. But that's my personal opinion. However, back then, everything belief system wise was a lot different. So you believed in things a little differently. You were a lot more superstitious. You believed in different powers and beings. And so when you heard about a curse, you probably were a little bit more aware of things.
I want to state for the record that curses are stupid.
How did I know you would have this take? How did I know?
Oh, I'm sorry, but like an object can't be cursed. You can't be cursed by opening a tomb. You can't be cursed by taking someone's treasure. You can't be cursed. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, for one, is there some kind of like special god who deals with the curses where
maybe there is? I don't know.
I mean,
the ancient Egyptians did a lot of things that we still don't understand.
Is it like Loki who's just watching out for you?
I mean, solid possibility. He was all sorts of, I'm going to go with treacherous and mischievous. It kind of sounds like something he would do. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Like he probably would just be up there like, this sounds fun. Especially because the way that all of these people either died or suffered, because not all of them died, but they did suffer in some weird ways.
So what you're saying is the curse is useless because it didn't eliminate all of them.
It didn't. And it didn't even affect 100% of the people that actually went on the mission. So it's kind of a weird case.
So we're done here, right?
No, we're not done.
King Tuts curse doesn't exist.
I mean, I probably don't think that it does, but it was a really interesting case that I still wanted to cover because it's interesting.
Was he the pharaoh of flatulence?
No, he was not. And he's probably going to curse you now after this episode. Good God. So the first one that I'm going to go over is the man who financed the venture. His name was George Herbert. He was also known as Lord Carvenon.
I hate this guy already. He's got 2 first names.
Well, he was a lord. So his name was George, but he was also a lord. Anyway.
Well, he should have got a better last name then.
Yeah, it wasn't a great name. Probably was a good name back in the 20s, but now it's not the greatest. Anyway, he died.
Can we agree that Herbert was never a good name?
I mean, I know
we already offended Chesters and pretty much everybody else.
It's not the strongest name I've ever heard, but it's not the worst. It's not Chester.
Let's just see we can offend every week. Because Herberts are definitely the top of my list.
That's fair. We haven't offended somebody in this episode yet. So this one, let's just go with it. Right off the bat, let's just offend somebody just right now. Here we go.
Okay. All people's named Herbert.
Check. All right. There's our person we've offended for the day. Great.
We're going to start a new segment every episode where we just pick a random name.
People and or states and or places we have offended. Check. Jesus Christ. I mean, at least it wasn't an entire freaking country this time. Jesus Christ.
Well, we're not done with the episode yet.
No, we're not. There's still a possibility. Anyway.
I hear Egypt gets kind of testy when you make fun of them.
I mean, I'm really not making fun of them because
it
wasn't Egypt that did this. It wasn't. Anyway, he died from blood poisoning after shaving over a mosquito bite and opening it up a few months after opening the tomb.
So he has bad hygiene and he doesn't know how to shave.
Yes, but it's reported that at the time of his death, the lights in his home mysteriously went out.
It's 1920. Did he even have electricity?
Apparently, yes.
And it was 1922, right?
Yes.
Now, I could be wrong on the years, but penicillin wasn't even invented until like 1920 or 22.
Probably not. I have no idea. I did not look at when penicillin was invented.
Hold, please.
Oh, God. Matthew's going on a Google adventure. But, yes, he died from blood poisoning from shaving over a mosquito bite. Now, keep in mind, all of these people did
1928.
Okay, yes, so penicillin was not invented. Anywho. All of these people did not die the same way. So when I first thought about looking into this, I thought maybe all these people died from the same way. And at first I was thinking, okay, well, maybe they died from like mold or something in the tomb, because that would make sense to me. That would make sense in a way that like, okay, all these people went into the tomb, got like mold poisoning or something. But no, it's random people. Some of them weren't even on the mission that were somehow cursed, supposedly.
Yeah. I would believe this 100% if the curse killed everybody by mummifying them.
That would be a neat curse.
It would.
That would be a really neat curse. And I would believe it so much more.
I know. I mean, if you really want to prove to the world that you've cursed this tomb.
Yeah, that would be the way to go,
yeah,
frankly.
Really nobody would ever touch that tomb again.
No. No. And I would not be going to look into other ones either. Nope.
I mean, I would, but...
Of course you would. You'd be like, heck yeah, let's go.
What's the intrusive thoughts?
Yeah. I can see you walking around with 2 middle fingers up like, I'm ready. Anytime.
Like, I don't want to do this, but I want to do this.
Testing fate. Jesus. Why are you like this?
And I tell you what, I could sell tickets for the thoughts that I have in my head.
You're something else, man. I don't even know what to do with you.
One of these days, we're just going to release an episode where it's just my random thoughts for an hour.
Yeah, throw mine in there too. And we've got just a real weird episode because you've heard some of mine too, and they're just bizarre. Yours are more intrusive and like, I don't even know. Mine are just weird. Mine are just freaking weird.
So, like this episode and leave a comment on the Facebook page if you want that kind of episode.
Lord. All right. The next person, his name was Bruce Ingram. He didn't die But he was a friend of the man that found the tomb. The man that found the tomb, his name was Howard Carter. Howard gave him a paperweight made of a mummified hand. Really?
Sweet. I want one.
No.
I'm going to put it on my desk at work.
That's so disrespectful. Anyway, Bruce's house.
If I die, you can have my mummified hand as the paperweight.
I don't want your mummified hand as a paperweight. I don't want your mummified hand. Even if it's flipping me off, I don't want it.
I wonder what the legality of that would be like if I died.
I think technically it's legal if
I like sign a waiver.
Yeah, I think it is.
So there you go, everybody. When I die, we're going to put up for auction my mummified hand.
Oh my God, you're so weird. Anyway, a few months after they opened the tomb, Howard gave him this paperweight made of a mummified hand, and Bruce's house mysteriously burnt down. And then when he tried to rebuild it, it flooded. So
now I would have been more impressed if next time he rebuilt it, it was taken down by a tornado.
That's true. That's more of like an act of God kind of thing. But floods kind of are at the same time.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about just having the full gamut of, elemental.
That's fair.
Fire, wind, water, and ice. So it needs an ice storm next too.
All of the elements.
What did you guys say that name? Ingram?
Bruce Ingram.
Did he have a daughter, Laura?
That's Laura Ingalls.
Oh.
You weirdo.
Close enough.
It's not the same. Anywho, obviously Howard Carter himself supposedly fell victim to the curse as well. However, this one is super, super like a big stretch, huge stretch, because supposedly he was a victim of the curse, falling victim to cancer 10 years after. But that one's like a super stretch, and people are like, oh, it's the curse. And I'm just like, okay, but it's cancer.
I mean, if that's a curse, it's not a very effective curse.
No, that's a stretch, man. That's a stretch. 10 years, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can understand. To me, that's not a curse. That's being subjected to whatever the crap was in that tomb and getting cancer because of it. But that's not a curse. That's just...
Jordan, I'm going to curse you, and in 10 years, you might get some kind of life-threatening illness.
Right? Like, that's... Yeah, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't. Anyway, it does get a little better from here.
I hope
Not
so.
a lot, but I mean,
At least you're honest.
a little tiny bit. James Henry Breasted. Yes, that is his name. No, I did not say it with a straight face.
I am too sick for this. Everything is funny.
I don't even know. Anyway, he was actually a member of the team that opened the tomb. I can't. Matthew is making weird faces. This one's also a bit of a stretch. When he returned home after opening the tomb and getting everything cleaned out, he found his beloved pet bird had been eaten by a cobra, and the cobra was still in the cage. People believed this to be the work of the curse, specifically because of the symbolism of the cobra itself. Personally, I think the cobra just got lucky and found a snack.
I don't think the cobra is really big in Egyptian mythology, is it?
I mean, I think it's just a symbolism of like snakes not being good, because snakes generally are like a symbol of evil.
Why is that? I mean, I
don't know. I think it goes back into...
I'm about to piss Jordan off right here, but...
Oh, I know.
Snakes are evil.
Snakes are not evil. I will go on a rant.
Anything that can move without arms or legs
Oh my God, no.
is not good.
Snakes are not evil. They are not. They are not evil.
They're slimy ropes.
They are not slimy either.
They look slimy.
They do look slimy, but they're not. They're very smooth. Anywho, I think that was just because the snake was like, ooh, free meal.
How did it get in there?
I can't imagine that the bars of the cage were all that well.
Why didn't it leave?
Set. Probably because it was too fat after that point. It happens quite a bit.
I feel you, snake.
Like a lot of the time, as a reptile owner, and I am aware of this, snakes will eat a meal and then they're too large to fit back through the bars.
So then he just has a pet snake.
Yeah, cobra. Not the best ones to keep.
I mean, to be fair, no snake is, but
Snakes are awesome pets. You shut your mouth.
now I'm working on offending Jordan.
I will do a whole episode on it. Anyway, anywho, I will get myself on a whole ass rant. I will. I know myself. This one wasn't even on the original team. His name was Aaron Ember, which is kind of funny because his house burnt down.
These guys have they sound like comic book names.
I know, don't they? Aaron Ember.
Like, this sounds like the origin story, the original origin story of the Human Torch.
Kind of does. Anyway, he was tasked with working on the Book of the Dead. And his house burnt down, and he died in the house trying to save the book. Which, you know what? Respect, because he was trying to save a book, and I'm a book nerd, so I get it.
I would have saved it too.
I know, right? Like, power to you, man. I get it. Same. Because I get that.
Did the book survive?
I don't think it did.
That's
I mean,
the saddest part.
he died trying to save the book, and I can't imagine.
Maybe he threw it out the window.
Maybe he did. I don't know. Like, as a book person, I can understand that. Like, no, save the book.
Or it would have been really funny if the house burnt down.
And the book survived just fine.
The book.
I mean, it is the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, the book was like fireproof.
Yeah, I mean.
And so he just died for nothing.
It's the Book of the Dead. Maybe it's cursed. I don't know.
Oh my God.
If anything was cursed in there, it probably would have been the Book of the Dead. So this one, this one's a little bit more interesting. This one I think is the most interesting out of all of them.
Scorpion King?
No.
Oh.
And that's a movie.
Good movie.
It is a good movie. I agree with you. Audrey Herbert, the main financier's brother, died a very mysterious death. Now, the death itself isn't what I find interesting. Months after the tomb was opened, he became completely blind out of nowhere. He was completely healthy and then just like poof blind out of nowhere.
I thought this was a girl.
Guy.
You said Audrey, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, now he's really got a bad life. His first name's Audrey and his last name's Herbert.
Apparently, it's actually a fairly common male name. At least it was back then.
I don't think I know anybody ever whose name was Audrey. It's a guy.
Anyway, here's where it gets even worse for this poor guy. Believing that it was a tooth infection that led to his blindness, they pulled all of his teeth, and then he died from a blood infection.
What year was that?
22 or 23. I couldn't get an exact date.
Could have just waited 6 more years. Could have survived.
I don't think he would have survived at that point. Probably not from whatever was going on. I don't even know.
Penicillin.
Could have had penicillin, but I mean, he would have had to fight whatever was going on. I don't even know. But like,
The
random
curse.
blindness. The random blindness is interesting.
Yeah, but it happens.
It does. It does, especially, I mean, just knowing my own personal situation. I personally have a neurological disorder that could take away my sight, more or less, at any point if it starts to get bad. So there are conditions that do that, and I'm sure that at that point back in 22 or 23, they had no idea that that existed.
I mean, I'm basically blind without my glasses, so.
Yeah, but like completely no sight at all.
Could have had a degenerative eye disease or, I mean.
Something. But man, can you imagine? Back then they were just like, well, you can't see, so we're just going to pull all your teeth.
Medicine was weird.
Medicine was weird. It was so weird back then.
I mean, almost as weird as them saying that it was a curse that did it.
The very last one that I've got is my personal favorite. Hugh Evelyn White did not wait for the curse to take him out. He was so scared of the curse because he was the person that took King Tut from the tomb himself, and he felt the curse was coming after him. So he hanged himself.
Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin on this one.
So, like, part of me is like, the curse isn't real, but part of me is like, maybe the curse was to make people think that the curse is real.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's for the most part, thinking that the curse is real is more deadly than a curse actually being real.
I know. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Because, like, I don't think the curse was really real, but let me tell you, these people sure believed it was. They believed so hardcore that it was that they, I think, made things worse for themselves. They did, because I think Hugh probably would have been fine, but he was so sure of himself. He even wrote, "I have succumbed to a curse which forces me to disappear."
You don't disappear by hanging yourself.
Apparently you do. Apparently he thought that he did. I don't know.
Well, I mean, at that point, you don't really care if you disappeared or not.
No,
so I guess.
He was so sure of it, which I think more than anything was probably guilt. Like, I don't know. Personally, I would not be comfortable taking somebody from their final resting place, but
I would.
Of course you would. You're weird.
I mean,
but not me.
They're dead. They don't need their body anymore.
They don't need it, but like, that's so weird to me.
Why?
Because that's a dead body. That's their resting place. That's where they're finally supposed to be at peace for ever and eternity.
There's people who sell their body to science and end up in a museum.
Okay, well, that's their choice, though.
It was his choice, too.
No, it wasn't his choice.
He was put in a nice, fancy tomb.
Yeah.
He was rich.
For peace. that was what he wanted. That wasn't what he signed up for.
I'm sure somebody could forge his signature.
I don't think they did that back then. I don't think they did the whole signature thing.
I mean,
then
obviously my way of thinking is a little bit different, but it's just once you're dead, it just remains. I mean, it would be no different than, I don't know, moving that chair over there and putting it in a museum or, you know.
I don't know. I think it's just weird to me. Like it's personal and it's strange and it's odd.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine when I died. Whatever you want to do with my body, blow it up.
Blow it up.
Throw it from an airplane.
You heard it here, guys. We're going to blow it up.
Have like a Mythbusters episode where you just blow me up, or I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
Donating it to Mythbusters. That's
That'd be
right.
Awesome.
It actually would be kind of cool.
Now I got to look up the legality of donating my body to Mythbusters.
I think technically you probably can. I think after death, you can do whatever you want with your body.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's for scientific purposes.
Yeah, it's for science. It's not the science they probably had intended, but it's for science.
I could be the new Buster.
Okay, guys, we have a Buster here. His name was Matt.
That would be awesome.
God. Would be gruesome.
I mean, it'd be cool though. That'd make Mythbusters way better. I mean, Mythbusters was already good anyways, but it'd be like 100 times better.
Oh man. I don't know though. When it comes to this, like, I don't like digging up graves and digging up tombs. It makes me uncomfortable to disturb people's resting places because that's just, to me, it's personal. Like, I don't know. It's not something that I would feel comfortable doing. I get why they do it because you want to understand, you want to know more. And we've learned so much about how people lived back then. And I myself have seen mummies and stuff at like the Smithsonian. I've seen them and it is really neat to see. But at the same time, like, it's a little bit weird to me.
I mean, I will say, because I've got my own issues with, Egyptian pharaohs and stuff like that. But for me, the fact that, because it wasn't just his body that was in that tomb, by the way.
No, there was more to it.
Yeah. All of his slaves and that they just murdered because he died.
Oh, yeah. Because he was
that's
in charge of so many people.
Yeah. So that's the one reason why I don't really care what happened to his body, because he was.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, he was the king. And because he was the king and he was in charge of. Yeah.
He's a piece of crap. I mean.
No, he wasn't a good ruler.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he was.
So, yeah, I don't really care what happened to him. But there's no curse.
You say so. I also don't think there's really much of a curse. But I will say that anytime that we go to dig up another tomb, I'm like, is that the best idea? Yes. Is it the best idea?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Is it though? Because I'm just like, is it though? Because like every time, like it just seems like the world keeps going downhill. And then like, look, we found a tomb. And I'm like, is that the best time? Is it the best time to open that up? Are you sure about it? Are you sure? Just in case. Just in case it's cursed. Are you sure that's the best time to do that?
I mean, to be fair, the world can't get any worse than it already is. So.
Don't tempt fate. Just don't tempt it, because I'm sure it probably can.
No, I don't think it can, because
I just feel like it probably can.
I think at this point, the world needs a hard reset.
I think we're getting closer to that point. Probably. I feel like we are. But I don't know. That's my take on it. I don't feel like the curse really is real. I think that curses, as far as like other curses, I feel like there's a possibility for it to be real. I don't feel like it's super probable, but I feel like there's definitely a possibility. I mean, I'm a little bit superstitious, especially like at our work. Matt knows this. There are certain words that I will not say at work, and he loves to push my buttons.
I really do.
Oh, he loves to push my buttons. But you know what? I don't care. Like when you work at a hospital or in the food industry or anywhere that you have to deal with customers on a daily basis, you do not say the QUIET word.
Quiet.
Matthew. I'm so sorry for anybody listening to that. I am so sorry. You don't say that word. I have a visceral reaction to that word. It's not a good word, and it freaks me out. And anytime that I'm listening to an audiobook and they say that word, you know what? Quiet. I don't like saying the word, because
quiet is Jordan's moist.
It is, because every time that somebody says, wow, it's awfully quiet tonight, everything goes freaking manic, and it's suddenly not quiet, and it's absolutely horrible, and it's manic, and everything goes all to shit. Because superstitious. But when you work in a hospital or you work in food or anything like that, you understand, like superstition, that's exactly what happens.
So here's my take. Obviously, complete opposite.
Obviously. But this is how we work. This is why we're a team. This is why we go into these things.
So we'll get into like Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology. They were used to try to explain the world because they didn't understand the world. And I think a lot of these like curses and stuff are just trying to, put all these deaths in a box and say, hey, it must have been a curse that did it because these guys couldn't have died any other way.
Well, no. And I mean, thinking of back then, the healthcare was so poor. And obviously looking at the house fires and everything else, shoddy workmanship, wiring wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, this was a time when penicillin didn't even exist, as we said multiple times. I mean,
you're going to look for a connection somewhere.
This was on the, back end of a pandemic, Spanish flu. I mean, we know how it is after a pandemic.
Oh,
it's not pretty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just this whole idea that there's some kind of curse because of, messing with this tomb. Like, why this tomb? I mean, how many tombs have we opened up, in history? Yeah, and he wasn't the only, king.
Pharaoh.
Technically Pharaoh.
Yeah.
He wasn't the only Pharaoh that we've opened up. And so why him? Like, That's what I never, because I've heard this before, but I just don't understand why he's so special. I mean, he wasn't even the greatest pharaoh that they ever had.
No, I have to agree with you on that too, because if there was, I would have expected it to be more consistent based upon more of the pharaohs.
And his tomb wasn't even, I mean, back then, basically how big of a pharaoh you were, was based on your tomb size. And his wasn't even big compared to pretty much anybody, really.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't crazy special or anything. I mean, he was a pharaoh, and that's...
Yeah. So, I don't understand why everybody's like... I mean, he's got an awesome name. I'll give him that. But other than that, I just don't see why he would be so special.
Nope, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm still not for opening up tombs just because I just feel like it's disrespectful to the dead. But...
They're dead. They
am
don't
I
care.
superstitious enough not to do it? Yes.
I would totally, 100%.
Yeah, I know. That's why you love to say the Q word all the time when I'm at work and piss me off. And then things go haywire because you like to incite riots.
Look, I get it would be different if it was someone that just died, because that would be more about disrespecting the family. And that's a totally different thing. But when it's 2,000 years in the past, when all their relatives are long gone.
I know, but it still just feels icky.
I mean, to me, it's more of it's not really if it's wrong or right type question. It's more
a quest for knowledge, and I get it.
I mean, because in situations like that, it's not really respecting the body, because obviously it's just a body at that point. There's no part of King Tut left in that body.
That's fair. I mean, there's not. I mean, he's very, 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 very dead by that point.
And I mean, without getting into the whole, religious debate and what happens on that, blah, blah. Either way, it doesn't matter, because at that point, your body's just a shell, an empty shell. So for me, it's more of a respect thing for the family. So if, I would never open a tomb of someone that just died 2 years ago or something, because of the family.
Still, I don't like it, but that's just me.
I mean, I get it, but
that's just me. But my bleeding heart and all that. I'm all sensitive and nice, and you're all an asshole.
I'm mostly nice.
You like to cause chaos.
That's why that's my nickname.
That's accurate. That is accurate. But that's why this podcast is so fun.
I haven't even got into my random thoughts yet.
Oh, dear Jesus. Well, we can do that on the next episode.
Why a pyramid?
Because it's stable.
Yeah, but it looks weird.
I mean, does it look weird? Yes, but look how long it's held up.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at anything like the ancient Greeks built. I mean, those are still standing, and they look a hell of a lot nicer than a pyramid.
Maybe I'll do an episode on that.
Why not a spear? Sphere.
Sphere?
Sphere.
Sphere.
Circle. And why does sphere? Why does that sound so weird?
I don't know, but it's really funny watching you try to pronounce it.
All right, that's my random thought for the day.
All right. Well, anyway. That's it today for our super fun episode of All Things Mysterious. We appreciate all of you for listening to our super random thoughts today. You can find links to all of our social media below, and pretty please comment, subscribe, and follow for more of our content.
As always, we'll definitely keep you guessing.